Ciao, what's up everybody? Alright, I want to talk about a video we shot like 3 weeks ago. One gigantic issue that might push you off from moving to Vietnam, and that's going to be about the internet cable. So, before we get into it, my gimbal is being lame lately. Before we get into it, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. It's the best way you can help me. If you want to smash the like button and all that jazz, you can do that too. If not, no worries, keep it moving. If not, you don't have to. A lot of the content goes directly on Patreon now and only available on Patreon. So if you want to sign up for that, that's where you can get a lot of the extra content that will only be, not even extra content, actual YouTube content that is getting put on Patreon. So these are all choices you can do or not do. It's up to you. Let's keep her moving and let's get into it. So, oh man, I almost want to walk on this side of the street. Hold on, we're gonna walk on this side. Avoid all these speakers. Speakers, man. Somebody asked me for a great date spot on Quinh Huế. Kisho, very good date spot. It's pretty much a Benihana's on steroids with like Japanese food. So, yeah, good spot for a date. So, the internet. It's been broken for about a month and a half. It's some days it's usable, some days it's not. Yesterday's video, the Valentine's Day video, took 5.5 hours to upload. I was up till 3:30. Yeah, about 3:30, or I think 2:30. Whatever time it was put out is how long it took, and I started uploading at like 7 or 8. So I mean, when all the lines are broke like they are now, and there's just one line, it's a serious problem. Like, can you get this is a big question I got asked by a couple of guys. Can you get like a bonded connection at your place? Like, what a bonded connection means in like layman's terms is like, can you get multiple connections tied into essentially a device from multiple ISP internet service providers here in Vietnam? Yes, you technically could in a house, but almost all the apartments are contracted to one ISP only. So like, for example, my old place, Vin Homes, only was contracted to one company, VNPT. So there is no way for me to get an additional connection to make multiple connections for like a fallover type deal. Now, I want to get into like great detail of how bad the internet gets. So it might not be able to load some sites very fast, and it might not be able to stream things even in like 720p. But I think if you're doing like stock trades and stuff like this, you'll be okay. If you're doing like a remote desktop into like a virtual server, you'll probably be okay. It could be a little slow and chunky, but it's still gonna connect and get the job done. Oddly, their timeline for fixing just one of the lines to get 2 out of the 4 working is for March like 15th. So like really no time soon. It's like somebody was like, quit complaining about it, and like it's not really a complaint. I'm just giving you guys like the information of how like it kind of is going here. I'm just giving you like an honest vibe of what's happening with the internet situation in Vietnam, and like potential problems you could have if you lived here in Vietnam with the internet. So, I mean, for a content creator that does 4K, hold on. So for like a content creator that is trying to upload 4K on a daily basis, it is a problem. It slows everything down. Somebody's like, well, I watch other YouTubers here and they got videos out fine. Well, most other YouTubers put out 1 or 2 videos a week. You know, I try to put out like 7 to 12. So it's a much different scale. Like, my channel is agreeably not as big as a lot of other people. So like, I have to put out a lot of content. Jesus Christ. I mean, I think our Quinh Huế days of filming are over. I mean, I'm having to turn the camera on and off every couple minutes. Like, it's getting progressively worse each day with the amount of like music people that are coming out here and providing a concert for nobody that nobody wants, and there's no control of it. Like, technically it's illegal to have these speakers out here at all, but no one comes and enforces it. So I think the win-way content is at the end of its line. We're gonna find new places to walk around and stick to that. Like, this has become more of a nuisance to film on than an enjoyable experience. Sure, there's a lot of people and cool things to see here, but it adds so much extra time to editing when I have to do a bunch of clips. Because I have to do a bunch of sound stuff in the background because I use a dual microphone. So it goes in both directions, so it just requires additional editing. Just can't escape it. Okay, we'll go this way and point the camera and just... Well, I can't even hope for the best because YouTube's so sensitive these days, so I'll be right back. Alright, so enough about crying about YouTube. I know you guys don't care about that. So, we're just gonna sit down and talk because it's just problematic here nowadays. So, the issue with the internet is that it gets so slow that, like, you know, I couldn't load Netflix yesterday. I could load Netflix today. Like, does Netflix really matter for business? No, but like, it becomes just a frustration. Like, and it's very odd to me that, like, you would think they're trying to make it like, they've been putting reports out that like it's a digital nomad paradise here. I mean, that's argumentative with the way that the visa situation is, and on top of, you know, a crappy internet. Like, how hard is it to put in a bunch of money to go get that line fixed? Like what's really going on with that? Like, people want to theorize China and all this shit, but I don't think it's really that. Like, because it affects a bunch of other countries too. It doesn't just affect Vietnam. Like, these lines are used by other countries. And still, yes, the cell service is faster. And yes, of course, it runs through the lines at some point. But we have no knowledge of how the cell towers are run in Vietnam because almost all the companies are owned by government. And they just don't post that stuff. And it would probably be a threat to the communication network here. So I can't confirm how it is. I can't confirm what internet or what cell phone provider gets higher access on the line, or how the access is appropriated. But there's been days where like Mobiphone just hasn't worked for 6 hours, or days where Vinaphone hasn't worked for 5 hours, because I have pretty much every cell phone company because I have 2 phones and I'm a live streamer. So like, we have the live streaming set up and all this stuff. So like, it's a frustrating thing, just that they don't like make it a priority to get fixed. It's been broken a month and a half, and they're talking another month before it gets fixed. So like, they're okay with just having shitty internet for the whole country for two months? I don't know. Like, if it was just like a thing where it went down for a week and then they got it fixed, okay, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm totally fine with that. That's something I could work with. But like, as far as setting up some kind of stable connection, if you really need internet that's consistent all the time, you would need to live in like a low floor place, and you would have to like have some kind of SIM card setting. Got that thumbnail. Have some kind of like SIM card hotspot with multiple providers, which is cheap enough to do. So like, you could have 2 of the little handheld SIM card Wi-Fi's, which don't cost shit here, and then just have each company like a Mobiphone and a Vinaphone set up, and then your internet, and you should have consistent internet, no problem. So I mean, there are ways around it. Of course, if you're in like a high rise and if you're over like the 40th floor, you're not going to get great cell service. So like, that's a possibility to think about. Xin Chao. Ciao, Em. They're waiting for the light. They're entertained. The gringo is here filming. Dambi! Dambi can be Dambi, Dambiet. It's technically spelled Tombiet. Nothing is said how it's spelled here, so like, kind of a thing of figuring things out as you live here. So I mean, it's just not an ideal circumstance for like hardcore heavy internet users that need a consistent internet experience. Now granted, on the other hand, like we were able to live stream during like a pretty big outage. Like the upload still remained consistent on my server and the download was there enough. It's just not enough to like stream something, say in like 1080p on Netflix, and then on your computer watching YouTube, and then someone else loaded up on a phone watching YouTube. The traffic starts to get busy then, like, and that's where your slowdowns are. Like, you could technically probably get away with good internet. What I've been doing is just turning everything off and just focusing the internet on one product, like my laptop if I'm editing and uploading, and I can get an upload through usually within 2 to 4 hours. So I'm just giving you the update. I want you guys to know, people asked me a lot of questions about that. It did well as a video, so I figured we would do like a companion video update. Again, the channel's not doing the best it could be doing right now, mainly because YouTube has all these issues with real-time viewership, and there's not much I can do about it. So I'm really appreciative to anyone that does sign up for the Patreon and to anyone that does give some kind of PayPal tip. You know, this helps in these times. Like I said, I have the new project, so by March, I should be doing okay financially wise. But I'm still gonna come out here, excuse me, and make content for you guys every single day. And at least put out a video every day, and at least 3 times a week on Patreon that's unique to it. So I'm gonna continue just doing my thing on here and hoping it gets resolved and YouTube figures out what's really going on in its back end. So that is the video, guys. I hope it was helpful. Thank you for watching. As ever, stay frosty. See you on the next one. Peace out.